Hi, you're welcome to the third part of our series on how to solve simple linear equations suitable for students from grade 3, grade 4, grade 5. Yeah, so that's for the basic students. All right, so if we in our previous lessons we have looked at how to solve questions in this form: 5 plus x is equal to 7, how to solve something that looks like x minus 3 is equal to 5, 5x is equal to 30. We look at how to solve questions like that, where we establish that when you are solving linear equation, what you have to do is to group like terms first. That's one step equation. You have to first group like terms. So in grouping like terms, what we do is that we have to get all the numbers to one side of the equation and then the letters also at the other side. We said that the letters are called variables, and the letters tell us that we are actually, in this case, like we are actually adding 5 to something to get 7. We are adding 5 to something to get 7. Here we are taking 3 from something. We are taking 3 from something. We are taking 3 from something to get 5. So what is that number? So we are using x to represent the unknown. In this case, we are saying that 5 is being multiplied by a certain number, or 5 is being multiplied by something, and we are getting 30. So what is that number that 5 is multiplying by? So to get that, we said you first have to group like terms. In grouping like term, we realize that we have to get rid of this 5. This 5 has to go to the other side of the equal to sign. This 5 has to move here. But how does it move there? We realize that the 5, the operator connecting the 5 and then the x is addition. So we use the opposite of the addition, which is subtraction. Take away 5 from here, and don't forget to do the same thing on the other side. And you get x to be equal to 2. If you do the same thing for here, this one, the operator is subtraction, so you have to add. And when we add the same number to both sides, we got 8. And in this case too, we realize that they were multiplying. So when we divide, we get 6. In this lesson, we're going to look at division. What if you have a question where there is something like x divided by 3 to be equal to, let's say, 4? How do you solve it? Now you can see that we have to still group like terms. In grouping like terms, the number that we are trying to carry from here to the other side of the equal to sign is dividing the variable. So we need to multiply by both sides. Multiply the 3 at both sides. So what we do is that we multiply here by 3. We multiply here by 3. What happens when we do that is that this 3 will cancel this 3. Okay, now we are only left with what? X. Then you see x is equal to 4 times 3 is what? 4 3 is 12. So we get our answer. Now let's try another example. So what if you have, let's say, x over 4 is equal to 2? We know that we have to group like terms. And in grouping like terms, we realize that the 4 that has to move to join this number on the right side of the equal to sign is dividing the variable. So what must we do? As usual, we multiply by 4. That's the same number here. And whatever you do to the left side, do the same thing to the right. Therefore, we're able to cancel this, and we are left with what? X. Then we have 2 times 4 giving us what? 8. Now, a student will be asking, why is it that 4 here, 4 cancels this 4, or this 3 cancels this 3? Why? It's because they are actually dividing. Okay, when you multiply, this is x over 3. What happens if you multiply by 3? You're going to get, don't forget that this is a whole number, so we have 3 over 1. That's this 3 is 3 over 1. This times comes, so then we have x over 3. And you've learned in multiplication of fractions that if you're multiplying fractions, you multiply the numerators and the denominators. So 3 times x is 3x, and then 1 times 3 is 3. Now in this case, we can see that 3 can cancel what? 3, because they are dividing. So we will left with only x. That is the reason why this 3 cancelled this 3. Hope you understand. Let's take one last example, and I will give you some to try. And as usual, I've been saying that when I start teaching, when I do the first example, the second one, pause the video and then try it before you continue the video for me to like explain it. You understand? So in that way, it helps you to grasp the concept better. Let's try something else. So let's say we have x divided by 7 is equal to let's say 3. Good. So what do we do? As usual, we can see that we have to group like terms. We carry this 7 to this side of the equal to sign. So how does it move? It moves by multiplying, because it's dividing the variable. So we need to multiply here by what? 7. Multiply here also by 7. And I said whenever you do that, this cancels that, and we're only left with what? X being equal to 3 times 7 being 21. And that becomes our answer. Now try this for me. So this is our try work. Okay, you have just 3 questions to try, and I'll leave the answers in the at the end of the video. So if you have any question, you leave it in the comment section and I'll assist you. So let's say we have x over 4 being equal to 4. How do you solve a question like that? What if you have x over 3 is equal to 1? How do you solve a question like that? And then x over 9 is equal to let me write a very a smaller number, 3. Yes, I want it very simple so that at least you can follow along. Okay, so this is just the basics, so I hope it's understandable. You get the concept. All right, so I'll see you in the next video for maybe our part 4.